as a group. So again, as much as I would want to highlight everyone, this is Debbie Forth's time to shine for the next 20 to 30 minutes or so, and she's going to be talking about a whole new you, starting with your next best 6 months. So I really like this because we talk a lot about what's your next stage, and in my session today, we're going to be talking about. I don't want to spill the beans too much, but we're going to be talking about long-term goals and short-term goals. And I love the idea of the next stage. Like, what is your next 6 months and how can we make it your best 6 months? Okay. A terminal diagnosis prompted Debbie to pursue her best speaking life. With only 6 months to live, what would you do? Her story will light a fire under you and her message will empower you. Set against a backdrop of an ocean view in Cabo, this session is not to be missed. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Debbie Forth. Hi, Debbie. Welcome to the Next Stage Speaking Summit. It is an honor to have you.
Hi, Tim. It's so great to be here.
So that is a beautiful background. What do you got there? Is that a green screen background? What are we looking at here?
No, my love. I am coming to you live from the Sea of Cortez right here in Cabo San Lucas.
Well, it is gorgeous for sure. Now, I know a little bit about your story and how you ended up in Cabo, but let's share a little bit of that with our audience and tell us, how speaking is involved and how life is involved in you ending up in Cabo.
Yeah, it was really an unexpected event for me to be here. And if you'd asked me, 2 years ago, would I be living my best life right here on the Sea of Cortez, coaching and doing wellness retreats and speaking and hosting clients, I would have called you crazy. I had lived in Dallas, Texas, and I was told in May of 2019, hey, you got a terminal diagnosis, you got 6 months to live, no cure. Go put your end of life plan together and live your best next 6 months. So that's what I did. Packed my stuff up, threw it in storage, and off to Cabo, me and my little puppy dog went.
It is, and again, I know this about you and it's a terrible situation to be faced with. It's a terrible bit of news to receive. I can't imagine, what's going through your mind, what's going through your heart in all of those moments. But what I love about you, Debbie, and what I love about your story is how quickly you went into action, how quickly you lived your best life. And also what's relevant to many of our listeners and viewers here today is how speaking has enabled you to be able to do that, and how you have all of these different channels and different methods really of helping people, serving people while prioritizing what you need to prioritize in these moments. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and that's really true. I mean, when I did come to Cabo, I did have a few clients that I was still coaching, and just really, I went to them and said, look, guys, good news and bad news. I have 6 months left to live. And, I was business coach for over 20 years in marketing, sales strategy, mindset strategy, and I'd been a personal development coach for over 12 years. So I was coaching some clients at the time, but I noticed my health was deteriorating. I was struggling, going from chasing doctor after doctor for over 7 years. So I was just become the identity of a person who is chasing a diagnosis and chasing cures and chasing symptoms. So that when I was finally given that diagnosis, that is what I now call my greatest gift, because it led me down the road and it led me down the path to just kind of look at my clients and look at my own life and tell myself, hey, you got 6 months left. What do you want to do with your life? What makes you happy, regardless of who it pissed off? And so for me, I got to look also at my clients and say, all right, so the personal development world has kind of taught us all. Let's go sit on the therapy couch. Let's take a deep archaeological dig into our past, discover all our messes, and discover if our messaging, look at our childhood wounds, look at our mommy issues, our daddy issues, look at our mistakes, uncover the gift in it or find the lesson in it so that you can then heal. And then you can go off and have the greatest life. And that's just wrong. And it's so not true. But it took me receiving the terminal diagnosis and only 6 months to live to basically go to him and say, look, guys, I've been coaching you. We've been sitting on that therapy couch. We've been going back and chasing all the abandonment issues and the mistakes you made in life and the divorce. And that's really keeps us in that vibration of chasing to fix the past. And you can't really fix the past. And since I only have 6 months left to live, and since I only have 6 months left to live with no cure, how about we just go create the next best 6 months of my life in your life? So my diagnosis kind of gave them the permission to actually move forward and stop looking into the past to heal and fix. It gave them the permission and myself the permission to create a new life. But in doing so, we knew that we couldn't create a new life from the person or the identity of the person that had been living in those patterns and habits and behaviors that were our current identity. So I had been chasing doctors and cures and diagnoses for 7 years. So I was living as an identity of a person who was chasing a disease, and now is living as the identity of a person who was terminally diagnosed. So I knew I couldn't transform my life or even transform their life to a new life to move forward unless we stopped living in the identity of the person that we were and create new patterns, habits, and behaviors.
Such profound, powerful advice, really, for anyone. And I love how you called your diagnosis a gift, and the gift. And as you're sharing with us, the message here, the takeaway that I'm hearing is the past is the past. Let's look ahead and focus on what we can do to make the next period of time the best it can possibly be. So I'm sure there are people who are curious. Probably a lot of people concerned. Tell us what the diagnosis is, and I know you're chasing it for 7 years.
Yeah.
What did it end up being, and how long ago were you given 6 months to live?
I was going from doctor to doctor, and it finally took a functional wellness doctor to run an autoimmune test, and I came up positive for 2, but the main one being systemic scleroderma or systemic sclerosis. So it was in my heart, lungs, and digestive tract. And I already have a little pacemaker and defibrillator that beats for my heart. So by the time they had finally given me the diagnosis, based on my organ damage in May of 2019, they gave me 6 months to live because there's no cure.
That's a lot more than 6 months ago.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
It's fantastic news. What happened?
Not only was I, focused on, when I moved to Cabo, I really just stepped into the identity of how can I create the next best 6 months of my life? I really wasn't looking beyond that, but I was also coaching the clients into their next best 6 months. So creating my new identity, creating the new Debbie for perfect health, and creating the structure, the environment, who was going to be in my life, the hydration that I put in my body, the type of food that I ate, the type of love that I wanted to put out to the world, the messaging that I wanted to give to the world. And in doing that, I started healing and waking up every day in an environment that I love, doing what I love, which is helping others awaken before they become me, helping others become their own best advocate before they have an until moment or an aha moment, whether that's a divorce or a terminal diagnosis or a loss of a job or, simply stressed out because they want to fulfill a passion in their life, like becoming a speaker, but they've never really felt comfortable stepping out of that comfort zone. They're scared of what's going to happen. So it's really stepping into an identity that's forward focused and one that's designed specifically to create your best life.
Oh, wow. So sometimes it isn't so much the message that we speakers bring to the world. Sometimes it's us as the messenger, where someone else can hear it in a different way. And we've all had the experience of, I told you that 47 times. Why are you suddenly listening to her when she's saying it the first time? So, here you are coming along and reminding us, giving us a message from a messenger who we can hear it from, right? Someone who has lived the difference between surviving and living.
Right.
And I want to hear you talk a little bit about a before and an after, and that difference between just surviving and truly living.
Yeah, and that's really important. Is, I call myself, I study a lot of neuroscience and I study a ton of epigenetics, and really my highlight reel is understanding patterns and habits and behaviors. So I had to look at my own life and look at my own patterns and habits and behaviors that I had created. And even though I created them, they were kind of the protector. They were the security guard of my life. They kept me in a comfort zone. And even though that comfort zone was blocking me from being healthy, that's still where we wanted to stay. Understanding that 95% of who we are is just a memorized set of patterns and habits and behaviors and our thought process. And that's the decisions we make for today and tomorrow. So if I want to step into a life of perfect health, or a life of, flowing abundance, or a life of becoming a speaker, I had to recognize the patterns and habits and behaviors that were blocking me and sabotaging me from having a perfect, healthy life. And you can't do that staying in the identity of the person that's been holding you back year after year after year. So in coaching people and speaking on stage, you have to understand that every person, we're created and we're born into a life, and we've created these patterns and these habits and behaviors. And if you want to know the area out there, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know the area that you're stuck in and you look at that hamster wheel of life, look at the area that's unfulfilled. Look at the area you keep cycling in. Is it in love? Is it in health? Is it in the ability to step out of your comfort zone? Is it in, your life's purpose or your soul's calling? Are you cycling from one relationship to the next? You keep calling in that narcissist and you can't figure out why. It's your own patterns and habits and behaviors that keep you on that hamster wheel of life. So it's only you that can change it, but only 5% of you really wants to change. So I don't go to Vegas a whole lot, but 95% of you that doesn't want to change versus 5% of you is not good odds. So that's why we create a whole new you, a whole new identity, and a whole new forward focused structure with the action steps to move you forward. You will create a new operating system in your brain, and the old one goes away. But you have to have a vision for the future. You have to have something to pull you forward. And for me, that was perfect health and the action steps to get there. And then I got to align with love and relationship and career and business and step into this world. Now, last year and a half, I coached 970 women globally. And then I had retreats and wellness retreats here in Cabo where they came and worked with me privately, one-on-one.
Type in the chat if you are inspired by Debbie, and if you would be able to have the, I don't even know if it's the guts. Debbie, I feel like it's a calling, and I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, that you couldn't not do this. You couldn't not empower these 900 some odd people. How did you manage that, by the way? Was it some group coaching program, internet, web-based? Like, how are you having that big of an impact on people's lives while dealing with everything that you're dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, I do Facebook group coaching, I do intimate one-on-one coaching, and I do wellness retreats at a 5-star luxury resort here in Cabo. I mean, if you're going to create the new you, the next best version of your next life, you need to come ready. You need to come willing, and you need to, because we get to uncover and discover the you that's forgotten how to dream, the you that is stepping into a purpose, the you that's waking up every day and willing to create new patterns and habits and behaviors. So it's bigger for me than a calling. It's my life's purpose. And I've been a coach for over 12 years. But truly, Tim, it took me understanding that the damn personal development world's just broken. I mean, we put you on a therapy couch in that archaeological dig into your past to try to make you think that you need permission to move forward and have a great life. And it's just wrong. And it's so not true. You can have love now. You can have abundance now. You can step up and be a speaker now. You don't have to have your story perfect. You have to have a flexible blueprint and the willingness to step up and share your journey, because we're all here to be a light for each other. We're all here. If we stand on our story and we open and unlock a healing door or a prison door for someone else's life, can you imagine the lives that you can change? I'm not perfect. but I am growing every day and evolving every day. And the more that I step into my calling and my passion, the more I heal, the more I feel healed, the better I become. And it all comes from, are you willing to step out of your comfort zone and create a new you?
So powerful. You know, you call your diagnosis a great gift, and clearly we wouldn't wish diagnoses on people. How can people receive that sort of gift? Is it possible to receive a gift of a mindset shift without a diagnosis? And I think maybe perhaps, and again, type in the chat if you agree, maybe perhaps Debbie is becoming that gift for someone right now. Maybe Debbie is helping people with that realization that you don't have to have a diagnosis to take action, to follow your dreams, to create your best life, and everything else that you are teaching, preaching, and advocating for and evangelizing. So, what advice maybe would you have for accepting that gift? And you know, I don't know, how would you help people get to that point? It seems like a tall task.
Aside from me jumping through the screen and beating them over the head right now and saying, just wake up, don't become me. But unfortunately, you know, neuroscience has proven it, science has proven it, epigenetics has proven it. Most of us in life, we've been tapped on the shoulder. Look, I had my wake-up calls. I had so many wake-up calls throughout my life, but we seem to kind of sweep them under the carpet. We brush them aside. We don't make ourselves a priority. We put careers first. We put, you know, self-serving, taking care of other people first. We put people pleasing before ourselves. We put seeking validation outside of ourselves first. And everybody's going to end up with some until moment. And again, it could be a loss of a job, a diagnosis, it could be a divorce, it could be a heartbreak. But some of you have had many taps on your shoulder before. The question is, are you willing to step out of that comfort zone and just simply recognize 95% of you doesn't want to change? The fact that you're staying over here on the hamster wheel of life. But if you really do want to create a new life before you end up like me with a terminal diagnosis, or end up with some type of cancer or a heart disease or something that's going to bring you to your knees, then I'm telling you now, let my story be your path to your awakening. Let my story serve a purpose. Let my story awaken you to, you can create your best version of your life right now. You don't even need to go sit on a therapy couch. There's no archaeological dig into your past. We don't need to talk about mommy issues, daddy wounds, abandonment. None of that is relevant anymore. Let's just begin to dream. Let's step into creating a new you and create and align with 4 areas of your life: life purpose, career and finances, health and wellness, and even love in a relationship, including self-love to you, which may mean making yourself a priority. I know so many people put themselves on the back burner. And let me tell you, that only does one thing. That puts you on the back burner and it keeps you unhealthy. And if you want to be a best parent, mom, career person, boss, thought leader in this world, that means putting you first. And yes, being selfish is absolutely okay, because then that will mean you will be better to everyone in the world, because you're not filling and serving yourself up to the world from a half empty cup that we all know becomes an empty cup. You're going to serve from your overflow. You're going to serve from the beautiful, beautiful overflow that's going to come to you as you're living your best life. Who wouldn't want to wake up every day on the Sea of Cortez? Who wouldn't want to coach and live in Cabo? And if you had told me 3 years ago, when I was diagnosed terminal, May of 2019, that I would be living in Cabo, clients coming to me, working one-on-one, coaching 970 women, doing a wellness retreat, I would have called you crazy. It wasn't even on my vision board. It's not even about a vision board. It's about having the ability to create forward, take the action steps, and continue to grow and evolve from there, and not cycle back to the old patterns and habits and behaviors that are holding you stuck right now. Don't wait for an aha moment. Don't wait to hit your knees. I'm encouraging you, wake up now and choose you. Put you first so that your family can grow and evolve.
Oh, I am fired up right now. There is, so much value, so much wisdom do not wait. There are people right now who are going to be sitting in an audience, and there's going to be a stage, and either you're going to be on it or you're not going to be on it. And what you do today leads up to those moments of that person needing to hear your message and whether or not you show up for them. So, my goodness, what an insight, what a profound, what a gift to be able to say, okay, time is short. There is a tap on the shoulder. We've had them before. Maybe we hear it in a new way. Debbie, it's so unbelievable to hear that you're going through all this. You look so healthy. You look so full of life. You are overflowing with life and vibrancy. Give us an update. How are things now? It's been 3 years since your diagnosis. What is your current prognosis?
I'm going to be telling my story. I want to stand on as many stages as possible. I want to touch as many lives as I can until my last breath. And I'm okay with that because my journey is meant for me and it's meant to unlock someone else's healing door. So if you are listening and I am touching your heart and I am speaking to your soul, that is the gift I want to give to you. Let my journey, let my testimony hopefully unlock a door for you to step into your purpose and not be afraid to be imperfect with your purpose and not be afraid to make mistakes and not be afraid to reach out for help. I mean, Tim is an amazing mentor. Reach out to him, speak your story. Your story is going to transform the world. It's how we love one another. It's how we heal one another. It's how we empower each other to be our best selves.
One of the major takeaways is don't wait. I think at the end of the day, don't wait until it's perfect. Don't wait until X, Y, or Z. What are we waiting for? Like, what are we even waiting for to get out there and to share our message? Debbie, this has been enlightening. I think what I want to invite people to do is come alongside and help you to share your mission in any way, shape, or form that they can. I know that there are people watching saying, Debbie's got a great story, a great message. We need to shout this from the rooftops, and I can help. Is there a way people can get in touch with you? Is there a way that you prefer that people reach out to you with any kind of contact, communication whatsoever?
Yeah, I mean, everyone is free to contact me. I'm on Facebook. I am as Debbie Forth. You can go to Debbie at debbieforth.com. That's Debbie, D-E-B-B-I-E, and Debbie Forth, F-O-R-T-H.com. Contact me anytime if you have a platform, you have a corporation, you have a stage, you have a podcast, you have a husband or a wife, or you have a child that needs some type of inspiration. Now, please understand, for me, inspiration and motivation, that shit's temporary. Transformation is lasting. So when I come into your life, you better expect to create new patterns, habits, and behaviors and create the action steps to get there. Because the old you, the minute you start creating the new you, the old you is going to get pissed off because it doesn't want to change. So it takes a good 45 to 60 days to create a new operating system inside yourself to move you forward. So you need accountability, you need structure, and you've got to have the action steps to move forward. So be willing to do the work. Be willing to step out of your comfort zone, because if not, the old you is going to pull you right back, and you're going to end up right back in those old sabotaging patterns and habits and behaviors.
Yeah, don't come to Debbie not ready.
That's right.
Don't do that. When you show up, if you're going to Cabo for a retreat, get ready for that transformation to happen. So don't go to Debbie not ready to change. Debbie, this has been amazing. This has been inspirational. I'm sure the chat is either lighting up publicly. Maybe there's some DMs. Maybe there's some emails going your way. But I really, truly hope that this platform, this opportunity has empowered you to do what you do so well, which is to empower others. Thanks again, Debbie, for a great view of Cabo as well. And as always, we'll speak soon.